But look, okay, let's just jump into it because it's the news of the day. Earlier today, if you hadn't seen it, the Detroit Pistons trade away Jaden Ivey. The full trade from Shams Charania, Minnesota and Detroit have agreed to a multi-team deal that sends Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley Jr. to the Bulls and Kevin Harter and Dario Saric to the Pistons. Detroit also receives a 2026 first-round protected swap from Minnesota. So I don't know the details of that swap, whatever. So you get potentially a first-round pick, and you get Kevin Harter for Jaden Ivey. And I want to start by just saying this tells me everything I need to know about how the league views Jaden Ivey. Because for a lot of Pistons fans, for a very long time, pretty much since he was drafted, everybody was saying, this guy is legit. This guy is, John Morant next version. This guy is Derrick Rose, whatever. And it just wasn't developing. And here we go. This is good. Thank you. Minnesota pick is protected 1-19. Detroit can choose if they want to swap or not. Okay. That's fine. I guess. Minnesota's pretty good this year. I don't know if they'll end up in that swing of things. So we'll see. Especially if they trade for Giannis, which is a possibility. But anyway, the fact that this is what the Pistons got for Jaden Ivey tells me exactly what I need to know about Jaden Ivey and how he's viewed in the league. Because as fun as he was even last year, where he was showing that he had some potential, and even as fun as he was the years before, he just does not look like the same player. And the fact is, we were in a bind. We were either going to have to pay him an exorbitant amount of money to be a player that he might not ever be again, or we were going to let him walk. So, Trajan Langdon, I think in a very savvy way, made a very smart move and said, you know what? We got the best record in the Eastern Conference. We need three-point shooting. And Kevin Harter is a career close to 40% shooter from three. He's even if you think Kevin Harter stinks, okay? Even if you think Kevin Harter is a bum and a loser, okay? He is going to do more for you shooting three than Jaden Ivey is this year. It's just a fact. Like, all year, Jaden Ivey has done nothing shooting from three. And even if you want to say, well, he's having a bad year this year, again, who do you think has more of a chance to, with that change of scenery, or keeping that change of scenery into account, what do you think is going to have a bigger impact on winning? Kevin Harter right now going to a new team where we have seen that he has definitely a lot of possibility to get red hot. We saw it with him on the Kings a few years ago and on the Hawks a few years ago. Or Jaden Ivey, who is a mystery. Like, Jaden Ivey could turn out to be a pretty good player. But when you're getting outplayed by Dennis Jenkins, who was a G leaguer last year and this year, that is your organization telling you and the NBA showing you you're not that guy, or at least you're not that guy right now. Now, the other thing I want to say on this is, as much as I have just kind of dogpiled on Jaden Ivey here, I really like Jaden Ivey. He was a Detroit native. His mom played for the Detroit Shock. His dad played, his grandfather played for the Detroit Lions. He was a Detroit guy. But that tells me a whole lot about what this organization is about. And I compare it to the Detroit Red Wings, who, while they're doing very good, one of the things that the Red Wings seem to have this weird obsession with is they want to bring in guys from Michigan. You got Alex DeBrincat, you got Dylan Larkin, you got Andrew Kopp, you had Jeff Petrie for a little bit. I'm not saying that it's bad to want to have some of your hometown guys. Those guys are really good for culture building, and fans love them. But when you're not performing, you're gone. We don't care if you went to U of D Mercy, if you went to if you went to Wayne State or Michigan State. We do not care. In the words of Coach Tomlin, we do not care. He's just, if you're not good enough, which Jaden Ivey just simply wasn't this year, Well, look, we don't know how long we're going to be running the Eastern Conference. This could be our one shot. As unpopular as that might be, this could be our one opportunity to really make a run for it. We know that Tyrese Halliburton's going to be coming back, at least next year. We know that Jason Tatum is going to be coming back potentially this year. The Knicks are not an easy team. And they could very well make a move here. We have to understand that you don't win. While you can win championships in the future, you can only lose them in the right here and now. It's just you can't keep bargaining on this player is going to turn into a superstar. Look, Jaden Ivey was taken 5th overall pick. Okay, Cade Cunningham is an MVP candidate. What is Jaden Ivey? He's not even an all-star. The guy who was drafted after him in the very same draft is an all-star in Jalen Duren. He hadn't developed into an all-star. He hasn't developed a shot. He just got off of an injury. He's going to be a free agent next year. There was no world where unless he just went off in the second half of the season and became, Jaden Ivey of last year before the injury, there was no world that we were going to keep him. So we might as well make that move right now when teams might be more desperate. Look, we don't know if by the end of the year he was still terrible. He would have just walked. This was our best opportunity to get some value out of Jaden Ivey and bring in a player who can help us right now. In my mind, I think this trade tells me that Trajan Langdon and JB Bickerstaff are not afraid of, quote unquote, breaking up the core. If you want to call Jaden Ivey a part of the core, he might have played himself out of that. But they understand that, look, in the NBA, the only thing people are going to care about, and in all sports leagues for that matter, is did you win a championship? And this, to me, while I'm not saying this is a championship caliber winning move, Kevin Huerter is a good player. He's not, this is not like trading for Rasheed Wallace. But he definitely helps you win a championship potentially. I mean, if you're in a spot in a playoff game and you need a big-time shot, I think Kevin Huerter could make those shots for you. As much as Duncan Robinson can make those shots for you, or Cade Cunningham, or Tobias Harris. Sure. This guy is going to help you, and he's going to get better with Cade around him to help space. There have been plenty of highlights over the last couple of weeks where Cade has the basketball. He goes to drive. Every single defender goes on Cade. With Kevin Huerter on your team, that's just not going to happen. They're going to have to respect that spacing. They're not going to let him go that open. So either they're going to, let him take a wide open three, which he can hit, or they're going to leave Cade an open lane for him to drive to the basket. I think this is a good move. If this is the only move, I can understand some fans' frustration. But I think this is a good move. I think this tells me that this team is serious, that they view themselves as right now contenders to win the NBA championship. And that's exciting. I can't believe, every trade deadline for all the other teams, I can never say anything other than, well, I guess they trust their guys. This is like an actual move that is somewhat exciting. So, hopefully they can go out and show why they're that good. Look, right now, they're beating the Nuggets here pretty good. That's one of the best teams in the Western Conference. We'll see. Trade deadline is this Thursday, I believe. Yeah, this Thursday. I don't know exactly what time. So Pistons still have time to make more moves to add on. I'm sure even guys like Tobias Harris or Karis LeVert, I'm sure that those guys are potential pieces that they might think about moving if they want to add some more right now talent to this team. But it's an exciting time, and I understand the immediate emotion of you love Jaden Ivey. He's from here, and he was, he's a beloved fan favorite and all that. But I think long-term thinking and championship team thinking, I think this is a great move for Detroit. I really do. Hey, YouTube, if you like clips like that, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We've got live shows every Tuesday night. Hope to see you there.